Here are the video solutions for City and Guilds Level 2 Functional Skills Maths. This is sample 4 and this is section 1, which is the non-calculator section. So question number 1, what is 672 divided by 21? I generally don't like to divide by a two-digit number. Maybe we can simplify the division, but let's just go for it as we would with a bus stop method. Sometimes these work out okay. 6 divided by 21 is 0, remainder 6. What is 67 divided by 21? You might need to write out your 21 times table. No one expects you to know this, by the way. So 21, 42, 62, 63, 83, 84. Okay, so 67 divided by 21 is 3 with a remainder of 4, and 42 divided by 21 is 2. So actually that one worked out quite nicely. So the answer is 32. What is 0.825 as a percentage? Well, to convert a decimal to a percentage, we need to multiply by 100. So that just involves shifting the decimal point 2 positions, 1, 2. So the answer is 82.5%. Question number 3, the diagram shows a cross section of a metal bar, and which of the following is the side elevation? So we're looking at it from the side. So what we'll see here is a rectangle here, a rectangle directly above it, and another rectangle directly below it. So that's going to be 3 rectangles in a row, like so. So that is C. Question number 4, the square root of 15 minus 6 divided by 3. Okay, so this is a question all about BIDMAS. There are no brackets, but we do have powers here. We've got this square root. So we need to take the square root of 15 minus 6. Now 15 minus 6 is 9. So the question is now the square root of 9 divided by 3. Well, the square root of 9 is 3. And this line of a fraction means divide. So 3 divided by 3, which is 1. However, there is another alternative. The square root of 9 can also be minus 3, because minus 3 times minus 3 is also positive 9. Remember, a negative times a negative is a positive. So we could also have minus 3 divided by 3, which is minus 1. So we can accept both positive and negative 1 here, but I imagine most people would have just put the positive value, which is totally fine. Question number 5. A box of chocolates contains 4 hard, 6 soft, and 2 plain chocolates. A woman chooses a chocolate at random. What's the probability that she takes a hard or a soft centre? So how many chocolates are there in total? Well, it's 4 plus 6 plus 2, which is 12. So out of the 12, how many are hard or soft? That is 4 plus 6, which is 10. So the probability is 10/12, but that's not a fraction in its lowest terms. We can simplify this by dividing the top and the bottom by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5, 12 divided by 2 is 6, so the answer is 5/6. Question number 6. So we've got a conversion graph for gallons and litres, and we need to work out what 6 gallons is in litres to the nearest litre. So we've got gallons across the bottom. I'm going to find 6 gallons, which is here, and just go up to the line at this point here and go across to see where it hits the line on this vertical axis here. Now, it's quite hard to read as it's quite small at the moment, but for me, this is 2 above 25. So 2 above 25, we're going up in ones here. So 25, 26, 27. So that is 27 litres. Question number 7, what is 42% of 400? Well, 42% of 100 is 42. So 42% of 400 is going to be 42 multiplied by 4. And what is 42 times 4? 2 4s are 8, 4 4s are 16. So the answer is 168. Question number 8. An inspector checks the weights of bags of crisps. What is the modal weight? Well, the modal is simply the most common. So let's have a look and see how many times 24.4 pops up. So 1, 2, 3. Let's just get rid of these now. So that's 3 times. 25.5 once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Actually would help if I deleted them, that saves me even considering them when I'm looking at some of the next numbers. 25.0, that just pops up once, so that is definitely not the mode. 25.3 also just pops up once, so not the mode. 26.5 pops up once, not the mode, and all of these also pop up just the once. So the most common value is 25.5 grams. Question number 9. Okay, so let's just do the adding first of all. 18.369. The most important thing here is make sure that the decimal points are in line. That way all the other digits will be lined up in the correct columns. In other words, we want to avoid putting the 3 below the 1. The 3 needs to go underneath the 8. I'll also put a decimal point in line in my answer box. So we're adding here. 9 plus 7 is 16, carry 1. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 6 is 16, carry 1. 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 8 plus 3 is 11, carry the 1. 1 plus the 1 is 2. So now let's just do the subtraction. 21.566, take away, and again the 2 needs to go underneath the 1. Again, if we just make sure the decimal points are in line, then everything else will automatically fall into place. 6 minus 5 is 1. 6 minus 7 can't be done, so 5 becomes 4, 6 becomes 16. 16 take away 7 is 9. 4 minus 4 is 0. Decimal point needs to be in line there. I'm not going to bother doing any borrowing. I just know that 21 minus 2 is 19, so the answer is 19.091. Question number 10. So what is angle A? Now all of these angles add up to 360 degrees. So first of all, what is 360 degrees? Take away this angle here. This is a right angle, so that is 90. 0 minus 0 is 0. 36 minus 9, or if we want we can just turn that into a 2, that's 16. 16 minus 9 is 7, 270. Let's take off the 105, 270, take away 105, 7 becomes 6, 0 becomes 10, 10 minus 5 is 5, 6 minus 0 is 6, 2 minus 1 is 1, and let's now take off the 25, 5 minus 5 is 0, 16 take away 2 is 14, so that angle there is 140 degrees. Question number 11. So 8 bricklayers took 25 hours to build a wall. So let's just write that. So 8 people equals 25 hours. So the site manager needs a similar wall built, and he can hire 5 bricklayers to build the wall. Okay, so if it takes 8 people 25 hours, how long will it take 5 people? Okay, so we need to think, first of all, if we've got fewer people, it's going to take longer. Just because this number's going down does not mean this number is going down. Here we're dealing with inverse proportion. As we're reducing the number of people, we're increasing the time. Now, if it had been 4 people, 4 is half of 8, so it would have taken twice as long, 50. But the problem is, well, 4 was a nice number, 5 is not a nice number. How many times smaller than 8 is 5? So what we need to do is work out how long would it take one person. So if 8 people take 25 hours, then one person is going to take 8 times longer than 25 hours. So what is 25 multiplied by 8? 5 8s are 40, 0 carry the 4, 2 8s are 16, 16 plus 4 is 20. So one person would take 200 hours. So if one person takes 200 hours, then 5 people, that is going to take 5 times less. So what is 200 divided by 5? Or 20 divided by 5 is 4. So 200 divided by 5 is 40. And the question is, how much longer will it take? So what is the difference? Here we need to be careful not to just stick in the answer 40, which is what I was about to do. It does say not how long will it take 5 people, but how much longer will it take. So that's 40, take away 25, which is 15 hours. Okay, question number 12. A woman needs to work out how long it will take to drive to York. The distance is 80 miles. 20 miles of the journey are through roadworks with a speed restriction of 40 miles per hour. So if she does 40, that means she'll do 40 miles in 1 hour. So if she's only doing 20 miles, then that will take 30 minutes. So 30 minutes for this section here. So first of all, we need to work out how many more miles she's got left to do. So 80 minus 20, which is 60 miles, and she's averaging 50 miles per hour. Okay, now we know that speed is the distance divided by time. We can flip these two things around, so time is the distance divided by the speed. So the distance is 60, and the speed is 50. So what is 60 divided by 50? Well, 60 divided by 50 is the same as 6 divided by 5. So how many 5s go into 6? 6 divided by 5 is 1 with a remainder of 1, but we would normally put a 1 on the next number along, but there isn't one, so I'll put in a decimal point and a 0, so I can park the 1 onto the 0 to create a 10. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Okay, so the time is 1.2 hours. Okay, so what does this mean? So it means 1 hour, and what does this 0.2 mean? Well, 0.2 means 2/10 of an hour, and 2/10 of an hour is 1/5 of an hour. Now, and 1 hour, we all know that 1 hour is 60 minutes, so what is 1/5 of 60? Well, that's 60 divided by 5, so that is 12 minutes. So this part of the journey is it's all getting a bit messy now. That is 1 hour and 12 minutes. And we've also got the 30 minutes from the other bit of the journey. So 30 minutes plus 12 minutes comes to a total of 1 hour and 42 minutes. Question 12, a bit nasty. Time questions always sound like they should be easy, but they're always hard. And it's due to the fact that it's 60 minutes in an hour, which I know sounds very obvious. Not 100 minutes in an hour, which would make the maths much easier. Here are the video solutions for City and Guilds Functional Skills Maths Level 2. And this is section 2, the calculator section, and this is from sample 4. So let's take a look at question number 1. What is 35 as a fraction of 490? Well, that is 35 over 490 as a fraction. Depending on what calculator you're using, you can just type this into a calculator and it will simplify it for you. Remember that the line of a fraction means divide, so if you type in 35 divided by 490, there is a chance that your calculator will simply give you the fraction in its simplified form, which is 1 over 14. Alternatively, what you could do is you could spot that these are both multiples of 5. If you divide the top by 5, you get 7. 490 divided by 5 is 98. Now the only thing you can divide 7 by is 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. Can you divide 98 by 7? Yes, you can, and the answer is 14, so 1/14. Okay, question number 2. 1 and 3/8 plus 3 and 9/16. Well, first of all, 1 plus 3 is 4. So what we have here is 4 plus 3/8 plus 9/16. Now, eighths can be easily turned into 16ths. 3 over 8 is the same as 6 over 16 plus 9 over 16. So that is 4 plus 6 plus 9 is 15. So 4 plus 15 over 16 is simply 4 and 15/16, which is answer D. Question number 3. Which of these has the smallest value? Well, probably the best thing to do is just type them all into your calculator. So 6.048 divided by 24 is 0.252. 0.095 divided by 5 is 0.019. 1.032 divided by 12 is 0.086. And 1.274 divided by 7 is 0.182. So which is the smallest? In the units column, we can't tell them apart. In the tenths, we've got a 2, 0, 0 and 1, so it can't be the 2 or the 1. If we look at the ones that have 0 in the tenths, let's have a look at the hundredths. 0, 1, 9, 0, 8, or 1 is less than 8, so therefore B is the smallest answer. Okay, so question number 4, we've been given the formula V equals BHL over 2, B is the base, H is the height, L is the length. So the volume is going to be the base, which is 16, times by the height, which is 6, times by the length, which is 30, and all of that divided by 2, and that works out to 1,440. There we are. Okay, question number 5. So what is the coordinate for Highby Station? So remember, with coordinates we go along the corridor and up the steps. So we're going along to 6 and up to 9. So you might be thinking it's 6, 9, but actually we can see we've got a grid reference here. So this 6 is between the 38 and the 39. So that is 386. And the vertical one is between 43 and 44, so it's 439. So as coordinates as such, you could write it 386, 439, but typically as a grid reference, you just combine these two numbers together. So 386, 439, 486, 439, and that is answer B. Question number 6. A woman's going to Spain for a holiday. She finds a hotel that charges €84 per night, and she thinks it will cost about £100 per night. Well, we know that £1 is €1.12. Let me just scroll down a bit. So therefore, £100 is going to be €112. And it's €84. Is she right? No, she's not right. And the reason is, well, €112 is much more than €84. Okay, moving on to question number 7. So here we know that the ratio of hair colour to developer is, we've told you wants high lift shade, so that is this ratio here, 1 to 1.5. And she's got 75 millilitres of developer. Now if it was 3, well, that's double 1.5, so we would double the 1 to get 2. So how many times greater than 1.5 is 75? Well, the answer to that is, what is 75 divided by 1.5? And 75 divided by 1.5 is 50. So we're scaling up this ratio by 50, and of course 1 times 50 is 50, so she should measure out 50 millilitres of hair colour. Okay, question number 8. So what we need to do first of all is work out her step length, which is the measured distance of 20 feet. So that's 20 divided by the number of steps taken, which is 16. 20 divided by 16 is 1.25, and that is the step length in feet. Okay, so she walks 67,118 steps, so 1.25 feet multiplied by 67118 comes to a total of 83897.5 feet, and 1 foot is this number of kilometres, so this number of feet is just going to be 83897.5 multiplied by 0.00003048, and that will give us 25.5719. So let me just scroll down a bit. It doesn't really say how many decimal places it wants, so maybe just round that to, well, whatever you like really. Let's round that to the nearest kilometre, so 26 kilometres. Okay, question number 9. So she's buying 8 boxes of paper clips at £7.67 per box. So that is going to be 8 lots of £7.67, and 8 lots of £7.67 comes to a total of £61.36. So she will be receiving a 6.5% discount. So that means she's going to be paying 100% minus 6.5%, which is 93.5%. So what is 93.5% of £61.36? The calculation is 0.935 multiplied by 61.36. And if you're not sure where this figure here comes from, this is the percentage multiplier for 93.5%. It's the decimal equivalent of this percentage In other words, this figure here divided by 100. 0.935 multiplied by £61.36 comes to £57.3716. Since this is a price, it would make sense to round it to 2 decimal places, so that's simply £57.37. Okay, so question number 10, we know that nationally there's been an increase of 8%. How does that compare locally? What is the percentage increase here? Well, we can see it has increased. So to calculate any percentage change, whether it's a percentage increase or a decrease, it's the difference divided by the original amount multiplied by 100. So what is the difference between these values? Well, that's 11649, take away 11193, which is 456. So using the formula, a difference of 456 divided by what it was originally, which was the 11193 before it went up, times by 100, and that is 4.07%. Explain your answer. So what will the chairperson write in her report? That fly tipping has increased by 4%, which is less than fly tipping nationally. And that's a using figures, so we can say put in the 8% there, and that should be fine. Okay, question number 11. We just want to work out the average shot length for this beginner. So he's taken 4 shots between 135 and 140 yards. Now, what we don't know here is the exact length of the shots. They could all have been exactly 135, or they could have been 139.9. So what we're going to do is assume that all of these shots were exactly halfway. So I'm going to work out between these values. So I'm going to work out the midpoint, which is 137.5, 142.5, 147.5, and 152.5. So if we're estimating that he's taken 4 shots with a distance of 137.5, then the total distance is going to be the multiplication of these 2 columns here. So it does help to understand what's going on here, but a lot of people just know to do midpoint and then midpoint times by frequency, and 4 times 137.5 is 550. 13 times 142.5 is 1852.5. The next one, 17 times 147.5 is 2507.5. And the last one, 152.5 times by 6 is 915. I always find it strange that they really don't give you enough space to do your workings here. So what we need to do here is the average is going to be the total shot length divided by the number of shots. Well, the number of shots is the sum of the frequency column, which is 40. And if we add these figures here, we get 5825. So the average shot length will be the total shot length, which is 5825 yards, divided by 40, and that is 145.625 yards. Is he performing at the average level? Well, the average level is 150, so we can say no. Average was 145.625, which is less than 150. You could also say here that yes, he is performing at the average level. If you think that 145 is close enough to 150, that would also be acceptable. Always kind of bizarre that both opposing answers could be accepted with correct justification. Okay, for question number 12, what we need to do first of all is draw in a line of best fit. Draw in our trend line. Does it mention drawing a trend line? It does say draw a trend line, a line of best fit. So let's get a line ready. What we're trying to do is draw a line that cuts through all these data points like so, trying to keep an equal number above or below. For example, that would be an awful line of best fit, as would that. So something like that. Yours might be ever so slightly different. There's no one size fits all really. That will be more than good enough. And we want to work out what a car that's got a mileage of 70,000 would be worth. So let's go to 70,000 and let's take a reading across. So for me it's one line above 30,000. Sorry, one line above 3,000, so that is 3,200. Okay, so you might not get exactly 3,200. That might be because your line of best fit is slightly different, or maybe you've well, first of all, your line of best fit won't be as thick as mine, so you'll get a more accurate reading, but as long as you've shown how to use it, you'll get the marks. So if it's 30% less, then we just want to work out 100 minus 30, which is 70% of this amount. So we want to work out 70% of 3,200. So the calculation is 0.7 times 3,200. 0.7, this is the multiplier for 70%. It's the decimal equivalent of 70%. It's 70 divided by 100. And if we multiply that by 3,200, then the first offer to the customer is £2,240. Okay, so for this question here, question number 13, the man is 22 years old, so he's going to fit into this category here. He's working 6 till 1, which includes 1 hour break. So let's say there's no break, that's the same as 6 till 12. So that's a 6-hour shift. Okay, do I have any, I'll just do my working set here. So he's going to do this 6 times a week, so 6 multiplied by 6, so that's going to be 36 hours per week. So that's 36 multiplied by £7.70, and I'm going to multiply that by 52 for his annual wage. So his annual wage is £14,414.40. Okay, so let me just write that down again. So his salary, well, the man's annual pay will be £14,414.40. I think they could have clarified this. They probably should have said after tax. Now, the first 12,500 he doesn't pay any tax on, just the difference. So if I subtract 12,500 from this amount, that is a total of £1,914.40. This is the amount that he's taxed on at 20%. So we need to work out 20% of 1,914.40. So the calculation is 0.2 times 1,914.40. That's the percentage multiplier for 20%, and that comes to £382.88 in tax. He also pays £600 NI, so he won't receive 600, and he won't receive the tax either, of course. So these are the deductions. So the total deductions come to £982.88p. So if we subtract that from his annual salary, that's going to be 1,414.40 minus £982.88, and that comes to a total of 1,343.152. There we go. So all these workings probably should have gone there, but let me just put in the final answer again. £13,431.52p. Okay, question number 14. I must admit I found this question really baffling, and I just got confused by the word plan, thinking it's the plan view. So we're looking down on these units from above, whereas this is the side elevation, this is the worktop, there's a gap before you get to the cupboards. Now, first of all, we know that the scale is in centimetres here, and it's 1 to 25. So 1 centimetre on here represents 25 centimetres in real life. So first of all, let's turn these into centimetres by dividing them all by 10. So we've got this unit here is going to be 50 by 75, and this unit here is going to be 50 by 50. Okay, now if the scale is 1 to 25, then we just need to divide all of these by 25, so that's going to be a 2 by 3, and this is going to be a 2 by 2. So let's have a think about this. It's 750 millimeters tall, so it's going to be 3 tall and 2 across. So there is my first unit, and then there were, I believe, 3 of these. So we're going to have 3, and these are 2 by 2. So a 2 by 2, and another 2 by 2, and another 2 by 2, followed by another 2 by 3. And there was a gap of 50 centimeters. So if I divide that by 25, so there's a gap of 2. So this gap here is 2 centimeters as well. Right, let's put this on here. So here are our base units. So a gap of 2. So and the unit on the left was 2 by 3. So we're going across 2, up 3, and then we had 3 2 by 2s. Ideally you'd be using pencil and ruler here, followed by a 3 by 2, and there we have it. And do we need to no, we don't need to do anything else. That's it all done. Question number 15. So first of all, probably what we need to do to make life a bit easier for ourselves is, because we can't type into our calculator 8.22 because there's only 60 minutes in an hour, is to turn this into hours and minutes. So this one is 8 times by 60 plus 22, which is 502. 6 hours 49 is 409 minutes. 5 hours 59 is 359. 5 hours 49 is 349. The next one is 404 minutes. 7 hours 16 is 436 minutes, and the Sunday is 355 minutes. So there are 7 days, and these are the number of minutes per night. So the total number of minutes per night is the addition of all, is the sum of these. So that is 2,814 minutes. So the mean is going to be 2814 divided by 7, which is 402 minutes, and probably better if we turn that back into hours and minutes, which is 6 hours 42. 6 hours and 42 minutes. So this is the mean. Let's also take a look at the range. So the range was 449. The range this time, the range is the difference between the biggest, which is 502, and the smallest, which is 349. So 502 minus 349, and that is 153 minutes, which is 2 hours 23. Okay, so comment number 1, the mean sleeping time has increased. So we can say mean hours of sleep has increased. It's increased from whatever it was before, 519, up to 6 hours 42. Comment 2, the range has gone from 449 to 223. So range has decreased, from, already forgotten what that value was, 449 to 2 hours, shocking writing, 2 hours 23. So what does that tell us? If the range has decreased, that means her sleep, or the data is more consistent. So her sleep length is more consistent than before. So remember, with range, you just need to be thinking of consistency. The smaller the range, the more consistent the data. The bigger the range, the less consistent the data. And that takes us to the end of this section of the test.